Hey everybody, welcome back to the studio's office here in the nerve center of it all. And we're going to go over my planning of my future Civil War armies in 28 millimeter. This was on a recent podcast, and I'm thinking about doing another part 2 podcast on Civil War. It's a big topic. A lot of things to discuss. We started delving into some of the core issues around building Confederate armies. And one of the things that was talked about on our podcast, which I've had to toss around here with my planning, and that is metal, plastic, combination of metal and plastic, all metal. I think the conclusion I've come to as I have done some research, and we're going to go over the things that I've been working on here. And that is, I'm going to have more variety to choose from and make my armies more diverse with the figures and the things that I can add to my armies if I mix plastic with metal. Thinking the regiment multi-base, I'm going to do some multi-basing on this army. I'm going to do some with just circle bases so that I can use them for skirmish games. And you can still buy or I could 3D print bases that have circular inserts that I can put the troops on if I want to rank them up and use them as into regiments. So let's go right to the split screen here, and we're going to go over the first website that we're looking at here today on my quest for research before I start spending money. And that's Perry Miniatures. That's really my main focus. That's going to be the core of both of my Federal and my Confederate armies. Confederate's going to be my first army that I build, right? So it's part of my roots. So that's kind of where I want to start. I think I'm going to buy both, and I'll build out a couple regiments of Confederates and a couple regiments of Union kind of in the same timeline so that I can start doing a little play testing. I have decided as my core rule set to go with black powder. Okay, second edition, it's on the way. I have the first edition. I want the second edition just for collectible sake, and I heard it has some newer photography and some newer fluff in there. The rules haven't changed a huge amount from what I understand. They've been polished up a little bit, but I did want that. I especially love the cover of the new second edition is amazing. So here you see on Perry, these are the plastic box sets. And we're going to go down. They've got a lot of Napoleonics, and then we go right into the Knights in Shining Armor period, which is amazing. I do have some of those Perry's built that are multi-based. I was using for Kings of War. So we'll delve back into this at some point in the future here in the studio, just not right now. The things we're planning out here right now is American Civil War 2022. As we get up to the Christmas time frame, I will start firing off some orders. Now, I'm hoping, I have not ordered anything from Perry's website yet. This is where I'm going to go with this. And I want to point this out to you guys if you're looking to get into 28 mil like I am, and that is this price right here. Now this is obviously in British pounds. If you do the conversion to US currency, it's roughly $28. So that's a good value. Not that I'm necessarily interested in value. I was thinking going all pewter, all pewter. But you really are limited on the ranges and the amounts of troops, and we'll go over that here. But this is the thing: is 20 pounds to $28, and if you go on Amazon, they're getting $37 for their Perry kits. Some of the sellers over there, so it's a substantial markup, $10, and it will start to add up. So I wanted to point that out. Amazon does not appear to me that be a good resource for getting at least your Perry kits. So I'd probably place a large Perry order at some point in December, and hoping that they use PayPal, because that's a safe, secure way to purchase something in US dollars, pay for the shipping all in one shot. As I've said in another podcast or broadcast, is with my local bank that I bank with here, be it based out of Cincinnati, Ohio, I ordered stuff online from Warlord and had my card locked because they saw it as a fraudulent purchase because it was international. So I prefer now Warlord now uses PayPal, and it's going to take a little time. I mean, the shipping is going to take longer from the UK, but if I think I place the order in early December, allow a couple weeks for delivery. The other issue is they're going to have the stuff in stock. I've noticed some of the stuff, the kits that are on Amazon and some of the other sellers, they're out of stock, right? They're out of stock. So here we go. We've got the ACW Plastic American Civil War Infantry box, 36 figures. So it's less than $1 a fig, so it's a pretty good value. We'll go ahead and click on this. I really like Perry's website. Now, some of these websites we're going to go to here in this video, they're kind of jank. So my tip to anyone out there, guys, it's going to suck. I know. I have a business. I have bought equipment, etc., invested in my business, with 3 systems, you just have to do it if you want to look professional. We have a nice website. We have nice printed material that I leave when I do estimates. My trucks are clean and they're logoed. I wear a uniform. You just have to do that. You have to be professional, and this is a very professionally produced website. So that tells you a lot about the Perry brothers and their whole philosophy of quality. And that's what I want to buy. I want to buy quality. Like I said, these are assets. These are Wargamer assets. Someday, when I'm not here, they'll be worth some money. Maybe my grandkids or my son may want these someday. So let's go. Let's click on the big screen. So you see here, you can make it larger, and you can see the quality of the sculpts are just amazing. So we're going to flip through. Now you can do this box set. You can, with different heads and different paint scheme, you can make them Union or Confederate. That's why they didn't say Confederate infantry. So obviously I'll be doing Confederate. There's the box. So there's another advantage. I can close out. There's only a couple pictures on that one. Let's go back to the main listing. Here we got American Civil War Cavalry. You can do your Zouaves if you want. Now these are straight up Civil War, so let's click on those. Let's click on the big picture, and just the artwork on the box is amazing, and the sculpts, the poses are so dynamic. This is one of the things that I really love about finding good sculpts, right? You can also do firing line. They got a firing line box. We'll get to that. Here's some of your commanders, tips and hints. So we've got it all, man. They got it covered. They've got you covered. We got our artillery. Now this was interesting when I was researching this. It's the same thing. We're looking at, you can do Confederate or Union with the same box, and they'll show you how you can build them out and how beautiful the painted minis are. Alan Perry painted these. Here's the unpainted sculpts, right? Just crazy ridiculous, right? I'm so looking forward to it. This is the problem with doing early research like I like to do. Hey, I'm a planner. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. That's my motto. So, but the temptation is like, should I just go ahead and just start ordering some stuff? No, I'm not doing it. I have shelves of stuff out here, and I have another Master and Commander box that will be here. I think it's going to be here tomorrow. I won't get to it right away. Again, I bought it. I want an extra rule book. I want some extra tokens to put in my token holder, my little token case. And down the road here, another month or two, I'm going to start working on my Spanish fleet, right? But the point is, no, don't do it, Al. So you can see the quality of the kits. You get the idea. So we'll just run through here. We get the Union Infantry. We got sack coats. And then there you go. So I think it says Union. Hold on, I want to see. Some of these guys are shooting, I do believe. I don't think you can convert these to, no, you can't. Yeah, you can't convert these to, but man, the sculpts are great. Yeah, so it's looking like they're not really Union. Yeah, I don't see. I wonder if we could just. These guys have some. Let's go up to the back up to the generic. I wonder if they have any that are doing firing. Yeah, see, there's some firing troops here. Okay, so that's. We got some that we can turn into firing line if you want to. Right. So it's got enough multi-dimensionalness. Is that a word? to do this. Now we're going to click through some other tabs here. We're going to go here to another one I discovered. I just typed in American Civil War 28 millimeter miniatures and went through some of the better websites and put them up here for you guys to show kind of my process here. These look intriguing. It's obviously a smaller company. These are going to be pewter. So this will be a way to mix in some pewter. Especially like skirmisher cavalry, you know, specialty units, skirmishers, skirmishing cavalry. We got some pewter cannons if I wanted to add some pewter cannons. But this really, I really like this right here, how you could, it's a 28 millimeter Claiborne at Franklin vignette. How you do the larger bases, and you could do some really cool command stands with some of these specialty companies. These what I would call like my boutique rules. I call my boutique miniature producers. Now, as you know, anyone that follows my channel, you're gonna find that you know I don't really want to get into resin printing miniatures because first of all, we're really not there yet, and most of these companies are not putting the files and selling the files for their miniatures. I don't see that happening anytime soon. Resin printing is fairly complicated. When they get that process down to where it's a one-step process, you don't have to do all the curing and the cleaning and the chemicals. And if the PLA printing continues to progress to where there's less lining and the miniatures would be more polished. Right now, that technology, guys, it's just not there. It's perfect for doing terrain. It's perfect for doing some stuff, game aids and things like that, measuring markers and things like that. It definitely has its place, which is why I own one. So we're just not there in the miniatures yet, guys. It's just not there. So, and it's a good thing, I think, because we're still supporting these companies by buying these great sculpts, these great miniatures, and these boutique companies is really what I wanted to show you, how these could be your really unique pieces you're putting out, and our rank and file regiment troops, right, in our brigades, we can do something special, right? We're going to come over here to North Star Miniatures. Now, this was put on my Discord group earlier by King Matt the Superior. Thanks, Matt. This was definitely on the radar. It's on the list to purchase. I want to see if there's a U.S. resource. If not, hopefully I can get this ordered and through PayPal some way. Maybe I can find them on eBay. But this is a boutique company called, let's go down here. It's down here. Where is it? Giants and Miniatures, and this is what he had put up earlier today. They're not super expensive, and oh, only 500 will be made. I did not catch that. Interesting. I'm gonna have to go straight to eBay here soon and see if I can find these out there. But it's the Chamberlain brothers. One with the sword raised, this one holding the American flag. What a badass miniature this would be. So anybody out there with a line on where I can get these, especially in the US, comment below so I can grab these, because that would be 2 pieces I would really love to add to my collection. Okay, so but this is North Star military figures, and they've got a bunch of different ranges that they carry. So these little boutique companies, could be a guy in his basement or a garage, and he's just making specialty miniatures. I wanted to go to another one here. This is Foundry. Most people have been gaming for any length of time know about Foundry. These are the just really great specialty figures. I have some that I purchased for, I can use them for Civil War. I bought them initially for my Forager rule set, which is a skirmish game, early 1800s, Napoleonic period. But the little civilians, right, that you can put around your board if you have like a farmstead or a cabin, and you can have some civilians get caught up in the action or whatever, just there just to add to the scenery, right? But this is the kind of things you'll find in these boutique companies, not the big box sets, but you've got your specialty figs, right? And they've got some really nice things to choose from. I'll flip through a couple pages here. You got Confederates, and everything's reasonably priced, and this is all pewter, right? So infantry and hats and shell jackets, Southern Command. So these, again, going back to those specialty command stands that you can really do little mini dioramas, is really piquing my interest. So again, we're doing slivers of either big battles, or we'll do small actions that are related to big battles, like say the Battle of Franklin. A group of Confederates comes upon a group of Union troops, and they just end up having a scrap, right? Because even with the 12-foot table out here, guys, you cannot fight Gettysburg on there, right? So let's click on these infantry. 14 British pounds. You're getting, see, 5, 6, 8 figs. Not bad at all for the price. They're very unique. Again, those would be great to have for doing skirmish. You know, building some skirmish units. It just goes on and on. I mean, a lot to choose from. We got casualties, right? If you want to buy some pewter casualty markers. And that's the thing with black powder, once it comes, they had the little, you know, the Napoleonics. I bought the original black powder starter set Napoleonics that I have painted. I got them. We'll play with them at some point. But the way that the Warlord Games does the 4 infantry on a stand and then you rank them up, I'm not doing that. I'm doing the bigger ranks. I'm going to come to an agreement on whether I'm going to do 20 on a stand. I'll do my custom bases like I always do with my hardboard and my table saw. And I'll determine what I want a regiment size to be. That will be pretty close to what the rules are advocating. And guys, then we just use wound markers, right? I'll get on historique.com. I will order some nice Confederate and Union Federal wound markers to put behind my stands. And you could have 40 dudes, 30 dudes, 10 dudes. As long as it represents a regiment and it has the strength of the regiment represented, just like our Rise and Fight Again, AWI, American War of Independence, and 15 mil that I have. It's the same kind of thing. We have a fatigue, we have a score that is assigned to your regiment, and as they take wounds, that score goes down on your marker. So just like with our Hail Caesar games, I wouldn't get too hung up on the basing and things if you're wanting to go multi-base, which I highly recommend. It's so much easier to transport if you want to take your armies to a convention or to a friend's house or to a game store or to a club. It's much easier to get your clear plastic tubs. I'm using the rubber sheeting like you would use for a kitchen that you can buy in rolls. And then armies I'm not currently playing with, I'm putting those in clear plastic bins and storing them away under my gaming tables to keep them out of my day-to-day cabinets that I'm using for games I'm currently playing. So there's an idea for you, and that way with the multi-basing, you're not dealing with all these little individual miniatures and putting them on the little circle bases or the magnet bases. It just becomes a big hassle. So that's the route I'm taking, guys. That's the route I'm taking. Now we're going to go straight up across here. We got Essex Miniatures. A lot of guys will be familiar with Essex. Here again, a lot of specialty miniatures. For doing vignettes, for doing command stands, for doing skirmish basing with the circle bases. Lots of possibilities here, and these miniatures are really good. I love their miniatures. My friend Rob plays with a lot of Essex for his AWI and skirmish games that he plays with, and they're always impressive. Now here's something, and I probably would order something from them just to see where their quality is at, because I've not ever done Old Glory 28 mil. If you guys have experience with their 28 mil range and pewter for Civil War, comment below, get on the Discord group, send me a PM or something, and let me know what your thoughts are. I would probably order a box or a bag. They usually send them in bags. Now all my AWI 15 mil, I've got a whole British Army and an entire American Army built. They're beautiful. They turned out great. I got them at Cold Wars 2019 at the Old Glory stand. So I got my little stool and I went around and I had my list of what I wanted as both of my armies, which is what I'm doing here. And I had a pick list. I went around, I got me a basket, and I was just like, I was like in heaven. I'm picking out all my stuff. And it took me about a year. I picked away at it. You know, can't paint every single day. It turned out good. Take your time, do it right, guys. Plan it out and do it right. Your army is going to be worth so much more, and you'll be happier. So you can see here, you're getting a good value here with Old Glory. And I'm going to click on these Confederates here. Here's again, I would like to be able to enlarge the photo so I can really see the quality of the minis. They should be good. My 15 mils, they were great for 15 mil. And I would imagine that it'll be the same. The downside to Old Glory is this, guys. Some other stuff I've ordered on their website because I have a membership with Old Glory, and is turnaround time and communication. They seem to be a little slow with responding to emails. I think they're a smaller company, obviously, and they kind of make the miniatures to order. They just don't have boxes, like pick boxes. I think these are all made to order. So they would get your order. Say I order a box of these 2nd edition Confederate Infantry Marching Shoulder Arms. As you see here, 45 bucks, you get 38 figs. That's $1.13 a fig, guys. Or was it? I think that was for the $40, $42 ones. So let's do 38 figs. $1.18, so I'm 5 cents off. That's still a great value for pewter, guys. And if they're good quality and they're good sculpts, I'm gonna probably look at these pretty closely for at least doing some small scale stuff for like skirmishers. So let me know in the comments below if you've dealt with 28 mil for Old Glory. Now let's go here to eBay. Now here's the other resource, guys, and I'll start scouring this more as I get closer to December, because this always fluctuates and changes. But the week that I start placing firing off orders and start ordering multiple box sets from the Perrys, I will be going to every one of these websites and placing orders for things that I'm formulating for what I want to do. As you can see here, here's a Perry, and it's 36 bucks, and that here in the US it seems to me like what a lot of the guys are getting over here. I'd rather pay the shipping, wait a little longer, get them from the UK straight from Perry, get exactly what I want, and end up paying a little close to this. I don't know, we'll see. And hey, I could get to early December and the Perrys might be low on stock, and I may have to go to Amazon or Noble Knight Games to get what I need. Now, see, you got to pay attention here on this eBay listing. It's for 1 sprue. Think, oh wow, $4.99. Somebody must have picked up a box at a garage sale. No, it's only for 1 sprue. So you can find some good deals, man, and you can find some kits on here that you don't find online because, again, the eBays, the buyouts, someone passed away and had a hobby hoarder and had boxes and boxes, and the widow just sold it in bulk to someone for nothing, which I do not want to have happen to my stuff. Again, the project I have not completed yet was cataloging things as of the date that I catalog them, what their relative value should be, right? So the stuff's just not basically sold on a whim. I don't think my son would do that. He's a pretty savvy business person. So anyway, something to think about, guys. If you've built up a nice collection, at least tell the wife, bring in a friend, someone from the hobby who's competent, and pay them a fee or a percentage and have them handle the sale of your stuff. Because we're not going to live forever, guys. Either have it set out that someone you know and love is going to get the things you've treasured and you've put all this work into, and time and money, or have some kind of a plan that it's going to go to someone that's going to get use out of your stuff, yet you can get compensated so that your family can have some of what you've worked for, and do something else with the cash, right? Do something positive with the cash. Take a trip, right? You don't want to be selling a $1,000 army for $50, right? That's my point. But don't forget eBay, guys. If you're watching this and you're also in the same place as me, maybe you're wanting to build Napoleonics, maybe you're wanting to build World War II, whatever it is, whatever the army it is, sit down and get some idea of what you're wanting to do with your build. How many regiments am I going to build? How many command stands will I need? How many artillery pieces will I need? Considering it's a 5-foot board, they'll probably be on the back piece as just like something to look at, because let's face it, artillery is usually further away. Do you want to build artillery? All right. Do you want to mess with artillery? Just do off-board artillery, right? You don't even need to have that on the board. I'm going to build some artillery just so it's on the board to look at, right? So don't forget eBay. It's a great resource. A lot of people don't. You're even starting to see some of the epic battle stuff on here, guys, and some of it's fairly well priced. Again, it's people who've gotten the stuff, figured I'm not going to build it. Someone croaked. And the widows just sold this stuff off for nothing, right? At an estate sale or something, Some nice little command stands and stuff. I don't want pre-paints. I want to paint the stuff myself. But sometimes you'll find things in here that are really well painted. There was a command stand with General Lee for $15, and it looked pretty well painted. So yeah, so I think I've gone through all my tabs here. We're back to Perry. Again, it's going to be my main go-to for my core units, right? My regiments. Once I figure out, do I want to build 8 regiments of each? That's a lot of painting, so that's the other consideration. I'm going to say, and I don't know. This may be my last mass battle game that I paint as part of my hobby career. But the next video, guys, it's going to be coming up here soon. I don't know if I'll get to it today. But as Modern Warfare, I'm going to do a planning session on that. Now I'm going to go straight to Battlefront. And yes, this is be another game system I get into here in the future that's going to be 15 mil. I said I wasn't going to do any more 15 mil, but really with my Battle Group / Flames of War collection that I have here, that's 15 mil. That's really a great scale to play for company level and World War III, future more modern battles. I've got some of the guys in my group, some other guys that I'm sure in the future will come play here in the gaming hall who are also playing in 15 mil. So I kind of want to keep that in mind. You're not building lots of troops with these games. It's a lot of tanks and helicopters and things, and they're pretty easy and simple to paint in 15 mil, just like Flames of War stuff. So that's the route I am going for sure for my Modern Warfare. So I'm going to start with World War III, Team Yankee, and I love the Battlefront products. I think the cards, the everything is great. Version 4, yeah, if there's a lot of guys, they don't like version 4 Flames of War. I understand. That's why here we mostly play Battle Group. It's more realistic. It's still very enjoyable to play the game. But Team Yankee is the route I'm going with that. And I'm going to do a planning session here. I'm going to do a video on it. Pick through. Here's the question. Starter sets, are they really a good value, you know, doing these starter sets? We're going to look at the Battlefront starter sets for Team Yankee, World War III, and we're going to see, are they good values? Do I want to pick and choose? The next video for 2022 for planning, doing a planning session, Star Wars Armada. Mr. Paul, who comes and plays here in the gaming hall, he has Star Wars Armada, and I have those 2 star mats that I just got from the EU that I use for my Black Seas. So we're all set. I've got X-Wing stuff, I've got my Legion stuff, and now I want to do Armada. I'm going to research that. Is that starter boxes for Armada worth it, or should I just pick and choose and buy things individually to build 2 good fleets? And again, the other consideration there with Armada guys is Clone Wars and original trilogy. Which route do I want to start off with? Prompt thinking. I'm kind of leaning towards original trilogy since that's my favorite. But just like with my Star Wars Legion, I have original trilogy and Clone Wars figs over here. So that's something to look forward to here on the channel. We're going to do some planning sessions, and it's lurking here in the background is my N-scale train layout. I've really working my motivation up. I have a little bit of trim. I never finished back here where the layout's going to go. I want to get that finished here in the next couple of weeks. I've got some more lighting I'm going to install back where the layout's going to go. The old N-scale layout, I really can't find anyone who wants to take that big 6x4 heavy layout out of here. So I'm going to salvage the buildings. I'm going to salvage as much of the track. I can definitely salvage the new turnouts and things I put on last year. I just hot glued those on. That stuff's all coming off. I've been researching my track layout, how it's going to be constructed, and what I'm going to be doing, and that's coming here soon on the channel. I've got some planning aids coming on the way to the studio, and when they get here, I'm going to really start crunching the numbers on the track layout. I'm doing Appalachian coal theme, you know, 1950s. We're going to have some steam. We're going to have some diesel. We can run both. We're going to do a coal mining facility. We're going to do a coal mining town. We're going to do a little farm using my recycled buildings from my old layout. We got to have those just for posterity's sake. So we'll be doing a little farm scene. It's going to be really sweet. It's going to be an entire series. I'm going to do a planning part 1, part 2 type thing as I plan it out from sketching on graph paper, right, to actually building the new layout. So again, I'm taking the 6x4, I'm salvaging everything I can salvage off of this layout. It's going in a bin, and I'm taking a table saw, and it's going to get cut in half so I can haul it out of here easier. It's got to go. Sadly, it's got a lot of history to it, but hey, you got to move forward in life, guys. You cannot always just sit on your laurels. So with that, I bid you all adieu. I appreciate all of you. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you are willing to sit through these longer videos, because let's face it, I'm doing 5-minute, 3-minute videos, and I'm still getting people watching half the video. So I appreciate you guys that sit to the end. I just want to bring you along on this journey called hobby. And this is my journey at 56 years old. go back and watch my first video and then watch this video. You'll see the progression, how things just keep moving forward, right? Like a robot. And it's a lot of fun. And I hope to see you guys on the next video. Ciao.